everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito, and today we are going to be having some transfer updates that are very exciting. Now, there are so many ways to look at this. Are we really interested in these players, or are these stories coming out because we lost to Wolves during the weekend and they're trying to soften the blow? Which is which? Anyway, we'll dive right in. So, Manchester United have been linked with Matheus Cunha. Now, remember a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, when I mentioned that Cunha is wanted by Manchester United. Now, at the time, I was not too sure because I think it was Simon Stone. The story had not yet picked up traction. In other words, you know when journalists just throws a story out there in the works just to grab some attention or to get people to click and link. I thought that was it, but there was an element of, I don't want to say truthfulness to it, but you read the story that the guy is. I get the feeling that Cunha is not happy, or he's ready for that next step in his career. When I look at what he has done for Wolves, you can tell that he's a player that stands out and is actually ready to move on to the next stage. Now, it's only a matter of time to know whether it's going to be Manchester United or another club. But as of yesterday, Simon Jones, and then later followed up by Fabrizio Romano, our transfer gurus, they brought out that Manchester United are leading the race to sign Matheus Cunha. Now, this is very interesting for me because you know what? Prior to the Wolves game, Ruben Amorim mentioned certain players. He mentioned Cunha, mentioned how strong he was and how good he is as a player. But when you look at the context of how he was talking about Cunha, you could easily say that Ruben Amorim admires the player or is a fan. Do you understand what I mean? And then fast forward game day. Now, I don't know if any of you guys saw this. I did. I picked it up. There was a moment during the game. Ruben is on the line. The ball belongs to Wolves, I think. It's like a throw-in. The ball is for Wolves. Ruben is on the line. I think he picks up the ball. And I think Cunha comes towards the gaffer. I think maybe to take the ball or to interact with him. There was an exchange. There was no verbal exchange, but there was an exchange. Humanity, human contact. It was there. And I remember looking at Ruben Amorim, and he had this smile. This childlike smile on his face, almost like he was having fun playing on the touchline, and he's got his dream. I don't want to say dream player, but he's got a player that he admires, and he probably knows something about this. Like maybe they've discussed in the board meeting. Maybe he spoke with Berada, Wilcox. I don't know, but he had this cheeky smile about him. And I remember looking at my sister and be like, "Yo, I saw that. I saw that. And then, okay, fine. Fast forward, the game ends and blah blah blah, and then I think I came across an image on the internet, and it shows Ruben Amorim hugging somebody, right? Witnesses say that was Cunha. Now that is the second contact I'm seeing, same day, same player. Now, Cunha is, if we were to sign Cunha, and I'm not even trying to sugarcoat this thing. This deal will be a dream deal. It will be a dream signing. Remember, Cunha comes from Atletico Madrid. Wolves bought him from Atletico. Atletico, if you think about it, he can easily still feature there for Wolves. He's just a different caliber, different player. But he can actually still feature for Atletico Madrid. Wolves bought him for around 50, if I'm not mistaken, 50 and above. They bought Cunha. So he's not a small player in his own right. No. He's actually a very good player, solid player, a player that you can count on. South American, Brazilian, attacking midfielder. Very good with ball carrying. This boy can take the ball from the midfield and go and cause problems up front. He is that type of player. Now, when you look at the signings that we have done at Manchester United, I can easily tell you this, that if we were to sign Cunha, Cunha would be right up there with the Bruno signing. Do you understand what I mean? Because when you look at the Bruno signing, we were excited about the player. I personally knew that he was going to have, he was like a petulant guy, like a guy that wears his heart on his sleeves. If he complains, yellow cards, I was expecting a lot of yellow cards from Bruno Fernandes, by the way. And yeah, in the beginning, he did get yellows, but then it has simmered down. It's not easy, it's better. But the way Bruno was transformative for Manchester United is the impact I feel that Cunha is going to give Manchester United. We don't have a lot of Brunos on the team, but signing Cunha is almost like signing another Bruno in his own. I'm not saying Cunha is like Bruno or Bruno is like Cunha. No. I'm just saying those players with a different kind of mentality, different kind of attitude. You look at Bruno, you look at Manu Ugarte, you look at Licha, right? Look at Delap, you look at our South American players. They have this very strong heart, very strong. They just go. So that is what we're about to bring to this team. Now, there is apparently a release clause of about 60 million, which Manchester United are confident they will be able to pay. This is amazing news, guys. Matheus Cunha is just somebody that's just going to be very transformative for Manchester United. I'm looking at Cunha in that number 10 role with Xerxes. I mean, come on. You have Cunha, you have Xerxes. Behind them, you've got Bruno with maybe a Manu Ugarte. Because I think Bruno, as he gets older, he's going to... I don't know. You see, Bruno is a very interesting player because I don't know what his trajectory is going to be. I don't know what his champagne era kind of player. I don't know what position he's going to attach himself to and become the master of it. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to carry on just being that all-around midfielder. I don't know if he's just going to attach to sorry. I don't know if he's going to decide excuse me. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to decide to be a number 10 or be an 8 or I don't know, be a utility player. I don't know. But he is the kind of player that can be in that midfield, can be in that number 10 position, can be outright because we saw him play outright for Erik ten Hag. It's just one of those things. Bruno is special. So Cunha falls into that category. He falls into the category of players that you don't need to beg them to do their job. Cunha is not the type of player we are always going to be like, this week he's on, next week he's off. On a good day, he's like this. On a bad day, he's like that. We are not going to be having that problem when it comes to Cunha. Because Cunha is already ready-made. I think he's 24, 23, 25. He's perfect. He's perfect for Manchester United. He's perfect for what Manchester United need. Because we like to sign players that are 25 and below. So, Cunha would be an absolute dream signing for Manchester United if we were to prize this player from Wolves. It seems like Manchester United are very interested. And the fact that Fabrizio Romano, our transfer guru, has actually said something about this gives this story credit, gives this story weight. So Manchester United are leading the race to sign Matheus Cunha. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, I am excited. This player is very, very good. This player single-handedly kept Wolves afloat. This guy is ready for the next step. He's ready to, to put himself up there with the very best, not languishing in a team that is relegation bound or fighting to stay up in the Premier League. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that that's who we are. I mean, this season, yes, we are in a very strange and peculiar predicament, but that doesn't mean that we can't pull players like Cunha, and Cunha cannot come to Manchester United and take us to the next level. Are you joking? Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. Wow, that is an absolute dream signing. The next transfer update that I wanted to talk about was Victor Osihmen. Now, Victor Osimen, look, Manchester United also are interested in Victor Osimen. This deal for Victor Osimen can only happen after Europa League, after we qualify for Champions League, because boy wants Champions League football. He is a Champions League player, and I'm assuming he wants to maintain that, and big ups for him. But apparently there is a 60 million release. No. Not a 60 million release clause. I lied. That was for Matheus Cunha. With Victor Osimen. Victor Osimen is still waiting to see where we end up in the Europa League. Which makes things, which is totally understandable. You don't want to commit yourself to a team that you know that might not even qualify for Champions League. And Champions League is the competition that brings you all the suitors that you're looking for. If you're looking for a new home, the Champions League is the place for you to go and shine. So I completely understand why Victor Osimen only will be able to do something with us, provided we qualify for the Champions League. It is imperative that we win the Europa League so that all these other doors can be open for us to make this deal. Can you imagine having Victor Osimen as our striker? No more Rasmus Højlund, no more falling, no more childish player. You've got Victor Osimen as the number 9, like to score goals. Huh? How crazy is that? And then behind him, he's got some of the most creative and most resilient players. When I say creative, I'm talking about Xerxes. And when I'm talking about resilient, powerful, strong Cunha, that is already the collar, like the neck of the formation. Xerxes Cunha there. Obviously, I'm saying this is purely based on if we get to do this deal. And then at the back, we've got Manu Ugarte, Bruno Fernandes, or Casemiro. I mean, obviously, Casemiro's time or his days are numbered at Manchester United. But you understand what I mean? Until we bring in another proper midfielder that's just going to sit there and make sure things run, I don't know. Remember, we talked about Anderson from Atalanta? We don't know. Maybe it could happen. Maybe it couldn't happen. But we will see. This is the injury update. These are the stories that are coming out, that have come out so far. The other transfer update is Liam Delap. You guys we've talked about Liam Delap. Delap is playing for Ipswich. He's their number 9. I think he's their top goal scorer. Formerly for Man City. But Manchester United are trying to make this guy their priority signing. I don't know why. I do not agree. He is playing for a team that is about to be relegated. So that should just scream, that should tell you a lot about the striker that you're about to sign. Because we did this with the Dan James. We did this with all these players. We bringing in mid-table players to come and represent Manchester United. You get mid-table results. That's exactly what will happen. We brought Dan James in to try and spice things up. Didn't really work out for him. He did a job, but didn't really work out for him. And I feel that we'll be going in the same direction if we do this. I honestly think so, because Delap, I mean, why isn't he trying to keep Ipswich afloat? Like, that is a question that you need to be asking yourself. And then you ask yourself another question. Is Delap wanted by all, like, other Premier League teams? I don't see it. I don't see Delap being wanted or coveted by any other team except Ipswich and Manchester United. So already there, that is a red flag. That should already tell you that we don't need this player. This player is not going to take us to the top 6 for next season, or it's not going to help us win a Champions League, or it's not going to help us win a Carabao or anything like that. No. He's still a kid, by the way. And we need a little bit of experience in our team so that we can move forward. So this Delap story is another one that's just like, you know what? We'll wait and see what happens. Because clearly, Manchester United, this is a money saving scheme. This is them preparing us for the inevitability of them not spending a lot of money if, let's say, we do crash out of the Champions League or the Europa or anything else. This is warning from them. Just, you know, the Delap story, I don't get it. I don't know why we keep getting linked to him. He's an ex-Man City player. Yes, he's from Manchester. Chose the wrong side of Manchester. But he played for Man City. He's from Man City. Man City released him. Why aren't Man City scrambling to go and get him back so he can feature in the... I mean, you look, Haaland is injured. They just brought in Mamouche. Nothing about thinking about bringing in this Delap. We are going for Delap. We are always screwed by that. So I don't know. I don't know about this Delap situation. And then another thing that I want to talk about is, like, you see, every time we go through some sort of loss or a significant, a loss, basically, depending on how that loss comes about, kind of like dictates how the rest of the week is going to be. You look at the Wolves game. We were superior. We were superior in that game. I don't care what anybody says. We were superior to Wolves from the start to the finish. We were dancing there and being funny, and we ended up getting punished from one mistake. People want to go in on on Christian Eriksen. Why is he still playing? People are now taking the blame. It's the gaffer's fault. Like, you're trying to look for some stupid little, like, shit that doesn't belong. That doesn't belong. That free kick on a special day, Alisson Becker doesn't stop that. Edison doesn't stop that. All the top keepers don't stop that free kick on a good day. And I'm talking about that free kick is taken on a good day by that player. And that player's like, look, that free kick was, it was perfection. I'm not going to sit here and start, like, why? But the question is, we dominated that game. We looked superior. We looked like the people that were going to win this game, or at least nick something from it. But we lost. Now, you cannot imagine the confusion that sets in a situation like that. The fans, what they must be thinking. Like, damn, man, we had that game. We had that game. And then we lost it into free kick. They're not really upset, but they're thinking about all the missed opportunities and all the times when certain players didn't pass, and like all those things that come. All those things start coming in and start shaping and making you see the things that you're seeing. And it makes people distraught, it makes people upset, it makes people sad. And these guys think to themselves the best way to lift up the spirits of the fans, or to lift up the spirits of anything, is to talk about a new signing. Somebody that we're linked to. Drop a bomb. Drop a bombshells there and there. Let's get these fans excited and chewing onto some sort of information. Now, for us seasoned Manchester United fans, we know this tactic. We know it very well. We know it like the back of our hand. We know that every time we go through something that's like the club or stories just start flying off the shelves and like ridiculous, bizarre stories. Those things have happened in the past. I understand that. But in this particular situation, this is why we're talking about this. Because this is a unique situation. Fabrizio Romano has come up and said it. Simon Jones has come up and said it. You know, these are reliable transfer gurus. who are giving an update on Manchester United. And they're saying that Manchester United are already in advanced talks. Like they are Manchester is willing, like not willing, is like they've set themselves up to get done with this deal in a couple of weeks. Meaning Cunha will be a Manchester United player, maybe come in the season. Before preseason, Cunha is in United colours. That's what I'm picturing in my mind. I'm not seeing it any other way. I'm not. And that is good news. Now, I don't know whether that is going to be just one, but Manchester United needs to start getting the ball rolling. Everybody else is doing business right now. Everybody. Let's not sit here and pretend like nobody's doing. People are doing business. They're just not, the stories are not really out there. They're not trying to break any story. So I wanted to ask you this question. Do you think these stories that we're getting about the transfer update are based on trying to appease the fans, trying to soften the blow that we experienced on the weekend against Wolves? Like to say that, no, listen, you guys, you did well, and here's a bone. Here's a bone for you guys to chew on. And then they know that Glory Reds and all the other Manchester United channels and people, we're going to be talking about it and be like, yeah. Honestly, personally, I think not. I personally think that there is some sort of weight to the story. The whole, I gave you the scenarios with Ruben Amorim and the little exchanges that he had with Cunha. Like, smile, like I saw it. I saw what I saw. You guys can go back and check that game. Trust me, you will see what I'm saying. It is by the line. Cunha, I think, is about to come and take a throw in or something. Ruben Amorim picks up the ball and he has this smile. For me, that gave, if this is true, if Manchester United are really serious in this thing, that incident sold them out. Because if we are the only people, as in the fans, that don't know that we are in for Matheus Cunha, like as strongly as we should, or as we are, or as we appear to be, then this is happy days. Absolute happy days. Matheus Cunha is going to transform our front line. You have Matheus Cunha there, then you've got another brain in Ahmad, and then you've got another winger who are going to try and bring, I don't know, maybe it will be Garnacho, maybe it will be Rashford, maybe it will be Anthony, maybe it will be Amas, maybe it will be, I don't know. Next season, that front three, I don't think there's anybody that has cemented their position there. Garnacho, at one point, I even said, even last season, I'm not even going to shy from it, because now I'm like, whoa, Garnacho, you need to take it back, think about what it is that you're doing, and focus. Just be a kid, play football, play with the energy. That's what I was seeing from Garnacho. Before, I used to see a player that had cemented his position in that starting 11. Consistent player. That was under Erik ten Hag. But things have changed. We move on. So nobody's safe in that front line for me, in my opinion. So this story for Osihmen coming and, Ahmad getting back to his feet as well is just music to my ears. And then you hear that Matheus Cunha could be part of that. That'll be crazy. And if we were to sell Rashford, I think the number 10 would be perfect for Matheus Cunha. Absolutely perfect for Matheus Cunha. And then there are some links to Anthony Elanga. And I completely understand why. He's shining. He's on fire. Anthony Elanga's one player that I don't think this is true. I mean, I've not heard him say this. Maybe he's said it and I missed it. I don't know. But when we asked him from Manchester United, that was the turning point for Elanga. And I think that is a very good thing, teachable moment for young players, or you could easily categorize Elanga as being impatient. You could, because correct me if I'm wrong, when we sold him, he was making waves about wanting to get game time. And he knew he wouldn't get game time because the roster was already full. So it kind of made sense. And it was very easy for Manchester United to give him what he wanted because he wasn't really, he was surplus to requirements. So I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please leave a comment and correct me, because I will read that and I will remember and I will do my research. But please correct me if I'm wrong. But that's how I saw it. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole situation with Elanga links to Man United. I don't think we're gonna get them back. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, Paul Scholes, I don't even want to use Paul Scholes because Paul Scholes had actually retired. I'm talking about a player that came back. Pogba, look at all these players that have left and come back, and the drama around that. I mean, just think about it. Pogba, disaster. Disaster. That homecoming, second coming was fucked. It was tainted with bullshit. And now we've lost Scott McTominay, we've lost Ander Herrera along the line, we've lost Chris Smalling, we've lost players that shouldn't have left, that should have still been in the club. You catch my drift. So, with that being said, I'm not 100% sure that we're going to get Elanga. And one of the reasons why I actually don't think we're going to get Elanga is because of the roster. You know what I'm saying? Look who's already there. Look at the people that we are trying to bring in. Victor Osihmen, Matheus Cunha, now Elanga. Elanga is going to cost some cash. We sold him for peanuts. If we try to get him back, he's going to cost us an arm and a leg. And I might regret saying this, but is Elanga enough to take us to the next level? I don't know. He might seem like it. He's performing for Nottingham Forest. Why wouldn't he perform for Manchester United? Why didn't he perform for Manchester United when he had the opportunity? Was it the weight of the badge? Was it the roster? Was it the players? What was it? Why was it easy for us to let go of a personality like Elanga? Why? For him to turn around and become this beast that we see him to be now. And now we're getting linked to him. I honestly don't think so. I don't see it. Elanga's gone. He's gone. And Elanga's not going to be the last Manchester United player to go through that. He's not. We've got plenty of players cooking right now. OBs, the Fredrickson, that class. Then we've got people even younger than them. There are plenty. They might be used as, you know what I'm saying? So these things can happen. Now, I wanted to touch on this last piece. I was deepening how everything is going, but our transfer business is very dependent on the outcome of the Europa League. It really is. When I say our transfer business is dependent on that, is that qualification spot for Champions League is absolutely everything for us right now. We need it. We need that stamp of approval that says that you guys will play in the Champions League. Because we don't get into Champions League, we don't get into Europa League, because where we are right now, there's no Europa for us. There's nothing. Nothing, nada. Like we are out of European football next season, based on where we are in the league and where we are. We are out. So it means next season, Manchester United is only going to play Premier League, Carabao, FA Cup. Those are only 3 competitions that Manchester United will play next season. If it stays the way it is and we lose the Europa. That's the reality. the revenue, the money, the competition money that we are anticipating on, and hopefully so, because we can't be having these conversations without that money. Manchester United have already told us that we don't have money. So, with that being said, we already understand that we need to create funds for ourselves. We need to sell these kids that are coming up. Like, the academy is going to be a cash cow. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of kids leaving for about 1 million or 5 million, 7, 10, going to clubs. Don't be surprised, because I believe that this is the Ineos way. This is their strategy. This is how they are going to be funding the first team, or the money to get some sort of players into that first team. That is a very scary thought when you think about it, which is why the Europa League is all or nothing. The Europa League is, these guys, they've got no choice but to win the Europa League. The prize money will be it's not much, but it will do something. It will help. It will boost. It will pay for certain things that can happen. We need it. We need that money more than you can imagine. Now, what do you think our transfer window is going to be like? Please leave a comment. Tell us. Do you think Manchester United might make these deals? Or do you think this is a smoke screen? This is just spin. Stories to generate buzz around the club because we lost. Is that where we are? Please leave a comment below. Interact with us so I can bring your comments into the show. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Reds podcast.